June 18, 2023, the day OceanGate launched a commercial mission to the Titanic wreck using its submersible, Titan. But just 90 minutes later, that mission turned into a terrifying tragedy. The submersible's carbon fiber hull couldn't handle the pressure of the deep ocean, and the entire vessel imploded. All 5 people on board were killed in an instant. Now, 2 years later, the U.S. Coast Guard has released a 335-page report. According to that report, this was an accident that could have easily been avoided. The biggest mistake OceanGate made? They didn't follow modern engineering protocols. The manuals were incomplete, and the methods used to test the submersible were unsafe. Even after earlier warning signs, the company kept using Titan without properly checking the hull. This wasn't a small technical mistake. This was deliberate negligence. Jason Neubauer, chairman of the Coast Guard Investigation Board, said the 5 lives lost could have been saved. The Titan's hull was made of carbon fiber, a material that had never been used before in deep-sea vessels. The problem with carbon fiber is that under extreme pressure, its layers can start separating, a process called delamination. Experts had already warned that this material wasn't reliable for deep-sea use. But OceanGate ignored those warnings. During missions in 2021 and 2022, cracking sounds were even recorded inside the hull. But no one took action. Rob McCallum, a former OceanGate consultant, said, "It was mathematically certain this would fail. We just didn't know when." OceanGate's CEO, Stockton Rush, who also died in the incident, was not just the pilot. He was also the lead engineer and the safety officer. This was a mix of human failure and system failure. When power is concentrated in one place, and there are no checks and balances, you get disasters like Titan. The report even says that if Rush had survived, criminal charges would likely have been recommended against him. His belief was simple: certification slows down innovation. He intentionally avoided getting the submersible certified. Inside the company, raising safety concerns wasn't allowed. Anyone who spoke up was ignored or fired. In 2018, the operations director was fired just for submitting a safety report about the sub. Rush told him, "Your conservative approach goes against my vision." The message was clear: talk about safety, and you lose your job. Even though Titan was marketed as high-tech, it was controlled using a modified PlayStation controller. And the pilot manuals? Incomplete. Some sections literally said, "To be determined." For deep-sea missions, the operation manual was only 4 pages long. It was a joke, and that joke cost 5 lives. Communication between the submersible and the surface ship was done through text messages, with delays. While real-time voice communication is the industry standard, OceanGate avoided it to save money. The investigation also revealed that the company was facing serious financial problems. In 2023, employees were even asked to delay their salaries. The report says Stockton Rush was funding the company himself. Because of this, experienced staff left, and inexperienced engineers were given control over a highly complex design. One former director said, "This sub looked like a high school project, and the team was the same level." The Titan tragedy wasn't just a technical failure. It was a failure of leadership, a failure of systems, and most of all, a failure of human ego. Stockton Rush once said, "Safety is a waste. At some point, you have to take risks." But this time, that risk didn't lead to adventure. It turned into a deadly journey. And if the world doesn't learn from this, the next Titan disaster could happen again, somewhere else, under a different name. If this story caught your attention, support us by liking and subscribing. Leave a comment and let us know your opinion. Stay connected with Libas Official.